This video was made possible by the EA Creator Network. Hey everyone, it is Tanya. Welcome back to the channel, or welcome if you are new here. Today I'm very excited to be sharing some early access footage of the Sims 4 Businesses and Hobbies expansion pack. And this is actually the very first thing I filmed once I got access to the pack, which I guess is not surprising as I love to build tiny houses. So if I got some new items to create a tiny house in a different style, we're gonna take that opportunity. So this is going to be a tiny house that's more in a Scandinavian style, more of a modern Scandinavian look in the world of Nordhaven, or Nordhaven, I think is how you pronounce it, that comes with this new pack. I did also want to mention you're going to be seeing my name popping around the screen, as this is not final software, so there might be things that you see present in this version that are not in the final version of the game. Also, if you're thinking about picking up the Sims 4 Businesses and Hobbies expansion pack, please consider using my code Gryphi at checkout. You just enter it when making a purchase on the EA app. It doesn't cost you anything extra, but it does support me as a creator. So thank you in advance for considering, and thank you to EA for sponsoring this portion of the video. So the first thing I did was pull out these new room divider pieces that we got. I think they are so beautiful, and I really wanted to use them as sort of an architectural element to hold up either the upper level or just like covered porch area. I just knew I wanted to use them on the outside of the house basically, and that I wanted to have a really steep roof line. So you can see me here experimenting with which windows I want to use. There is a new roof texture and a new tree that I'm placing down now that has some really beautiful lights through it. There's a lot of fairy lights in this pack, honestly. So many. I only used a couple of them here, but we have so many. You can do all sorts of different shapes, and I'm very, very excited to play around with those in some future builds. If you'd like to see all of the different items and all of the different swatches that came with this expansion pack, I did post a full build and buy overview where I look at every single thing in detail. So I'll have that link down below. So in this part of the new world, there is a lot of paved areas. So I didn't feel like this house should just be directly on grass. So I ended up putting down a bunch of flooring and then cutting out a couple of different sections with half walls to put grass in there so I could put some greenery on this lot. But it felt like it needed to be more structured in this way because it kind of feels more like a commercial area over here, which makes sense since the whole idea of this pack is to be able to run your own business and being able to do that from home, so probably living above more of a commercial space. That is not what I went with in this build though. However, I did imagine that this sim does have the hobby of pottery, so we do have some of the pottery things present on this lot. I just wasn't thinking they were running a business off of their home lot, but that's something you could do if you'd like to. If you want to renovate this, it's definitely an option. Or your sim could purchase a different property and work off of a different property and have a separate home, because that's still a possibility as well. But I think it is so cool that you can now run your business on the same lot as your home lot. We've been asking for multifunctional lots for years, so having something like this is so cool, and I really hope it's something that is expanded on in the future. So maybe you could run a business on a lot, but maybe next door is a different business or the local library, things like that, using the same system that is used in this pack as well as in For Rent, where you're just kind of zoning each room individually. I think it would be really cool if that's something that's continued to be expanded upon. I just hope it's not glitchy, because I know For Rent has been a problem for a while with like corrupted saves and things like that. So I hope it's something that is not a problem with this one. And if it's something they continue to play around with in the future, that it is a little bit more stable. That would be nice. Anyway, right now I am drawing out a side yard because I really wanted to make sure there was some outdoor space here, since it's a pretty small home. It is 2 stories though. I didn't try to make this like the tiniest tiny home possible, like a micro home, and I'm not sure how many tiles it is as I don't have Tiny Living installed. I am just using the base game and the new expansion pack here, but I think this could easily incorporate well with Tiny Living, especially the style of furniture I feel like would work decently with this. It has some similar wood swatches. But because I didn't have as much space inside as I was thinking I would with the space here, I end up having the pottery stuff outside, which I think is fine. The thing that is possibly a problem is I'm pretty sure it's an electric kiln, so you would probably want to put some sort of cover over it if you have seasons so that it doesn't break in the rain. But there are lots of different types of kilns in real life, and some of them are outside. I did pottery for a very long time in college, and we did all sorts of firings, so I think of kilns as an outside thing more so than an inside thing personally. I know that's not always the case, but that is where I placed it in this lot. But right now you can see I am figuring out our kitchen space. Also, these new floating staircases. These are beautiful. They are so modern. I feel like you see them all the time in like design magazines. I'd be terrified to walk on those without a railing, but they look really nice. So I did include that. We also have some new windows that I'm putting here in the kitchen. And this is not a new kitchen set with the pack. It's actually one that came with base game earlier in February as part of the anniversary update. And it just worked really nicely here. So I ended up using that and then grabbing this table and chairs, which is also from the new pack. I really wanted to use the bigger table, but it felt like it was just a little bit too tight of a fit. So I did get rid of it in the end. And I am now figuring out where our bathroom is going to be. It's going to be a pretty small bathroom I have down here. I just wanted to make sure there was a space for your Sims to use the toilet and all of that on the main floor. So if you have company over, you don't have to have somebody going through your bedroom upstairs. And it's also just nice to have a closer spot. I'm not actually sure when I changed this, but I just remember that I actually end up changing the counters and I don't keep these new base game ones. And I actually end up going with the more industrial looking ones that we've had in the game for a very long time. I think since launch, but they got new swatches some amount of years ago. I end up swapping, yeah, here they are. I end up swapping out for these just because they felt like they matched a little bit better with the vibe I was going for in here. I think the mixture of like industrial and modern in here worked really nicely. I love the new light fixture that we have here that I put up above the table. And we also got some new plants in this pack, which I'm always happy about. This one is beautiful. It's a really narrow plant. We also have a lot of new pieces that you can create on the wheel. So if you go and debug, you can get all sorts of new decorative pieces that your Sims can actually make in the game. They can pick all the glazes. And I have one of those vases over here in the corner. I think it's really pretty. There's also a new item that is like a stack of plates with dishes, like cups and stuff in it. And there's a couple of new fireplaces. I'm using one of them here in this house. This one is the more square one. The other one's a rounded shape. And I think they're both really nice and I'm glad to have them. They're different than anything we've had before. There's also a couple of new couches and I particularly love this one that has the blanket draped over it. I just think it is so pretty. The wood accents, there is a couple of new chairs as well and a new coffee table. I'm just trying to make everything fit into this space without expanding it because I wanted it to feel cozy and I loved how the outside looked. So I am moving where the door is going to be and it ends up being a door to the back instead of the side of the house, which I think worked out fine. And then I was able to fit a small like side table to put a TV on and I just extended the fence in the backyard. I end up using this one, which is supposed to be like a fake counter piece that comes with the pack for the pottery studios. I did scale it down so that it fit here a little bit better and I put a TV up above it and I also end up getting a bunch of decorative like candles in this space that are some more ceramics your Sims can make. I think it looks so cute and I do forget that chair is in front of that door for a very long time. So I apologize if that bothers you. I do end up getting rid of it and it won't be present on the gallery. No worries on that. And speaking of which, this is not on the gallery yet. It will be once the pack is released on March 6th. So if you would like to grab this, you can go ahead and follow me on the gallery. My EA ID is Gryphi, Gryphi. You can also find it under the hashtag Gryphi. That information is down below and that'll all be available on March 6th. I'm really loving the new doors and windows that come with this pack, particularly that front door, but this interior one that I'm using to the bathroom is also so pretty. And I also have a new window in here and I thought about using these floor tiles in here, but for some reason at certain angles, they look very bright blue and I didn't like that. So I'm pretty sure I changed them. But the new mirror in this bathroom, just like a simple arched mirror, it's perfect. It's going to be in so many builds in the future. I love it. I also really like this new wall plant and I'm just using a base game toilet and toilet paper and all of that. And then over in the entryway, I just wanted to have a couple of basic things here. So there ends up being a new wall mirror as well, like a full length one. It glows. Thought that was a bit of fun, so I end up putting that there, and then we are upstairs figuring out the layout that I think would work best. So it's very open concept, like loft up here, where I have the bedroom when you first walk up, and then there's a big bathroom in the front of the house. So there's actually 2 bathrooms and only 1 bedroom here, but I thought it worked out nicely since downstairs is a half bath, and up here I was able to actually use the new tub because we got a new tub in this one, and it's really, really pretty. So you'll see that here in a little bit, but right now I am placing down the new bed and a new side table. I love this bed. I'm using just like a really neutral swatch here, although I think I play around with the swatches a little bit, but I think this one is just so nice. It's so simple, but it feels elevated and it's just different than ones we already have in the game. I feel like a lot of the beds in the game are so incredibly stylized that they're a little bit hard to use. So getting one so simple like this, I really enjoyed. There's also a couple of new wardrobes in here. I'm using one of them over here. And a little bit later, I end up trying to squeeze a desk up here so that way your Sims have a place to use the computer. And there's actually a new laptop with this pack as well. So that'll be up here too. But you can see I changed the swatch of the bed to be a green, and now I am painting the walls downstairs to make them less plain white. I brought in just a little bit more warmth, even though the wall looks kind of gray here. I was just trying to get more variety in the colors represented, and I kind of like how they balance each other. The brown walls, like the wooden walls with the like grayish brown paint. But this is going to be the main bathroom upstairs. Look at that tub. It is so pretty. And I'm also using the new sink. I believe this one's meant to be part of that like fake counter piece. I say fake, it's just like a surface. It's not an actual counter, but it kind of looks like a counter that goes with the pottery stuff. But I think it works nicely for a bathroom or kitchen sink as well. I'm also using that new plant again because I can't help myself. It is so beautiful. And then we are getting a trash can downstairs and just kind of like popping around as I realize things like that chair has finally been deleted. I'm adding in the burglar alarm here. I think you're supposed to actually put them by doors. I did not. I guess it's kind of near a door because it's a tiny house. It's not that big of a house. But hopefully I will find out more in the future on where I'm supposed to place those. You can also see I put all the pottery stuff out in the backyard. I thought that was nice, and I cannot wait to have my Sims explore that skill. I think it's going to be so fun to have that in the game, and it's just been something I've been hoping for years, so I'm very pleased with it. And I didn't think we were ever going to have the ability to give tattoos in the game, so that's also really fun. It's going to be interesting exploring both those careers and building for them and just building for businesses in general. So let me know what other content you would like to see around this expansion pack. Are there any builds you would like to see that are specific to this one or cross-pack compatibility? Right now I only have access to businesses and hobbies with base game, but hopefully soon I will have access to everything. So any ideas of things you would like to see, please leave those down below. I would love to create some of those. Working on some of the landscaping in the side yard here, I got a variety of like white and purple flowers, some like small flowers, some hydrangeas, and just like some greenery. And then I'm going to be grabbing some of these debug pathways to connect these two areas, the side yard and where the door to the backyard is. And I thought it worked out nicely, kind of separated this way. You get a little bit of greenery and then also a space for pottery, all of that. And then I realized I had this really pretty book and a lamp, and I really wanted to place those in the kitchen, and I kind of like cluttered everything over in the corner as I wanted to make sure there was one of the counters open so your Sims could actually go ahead and prepare food. And then we do have new trash cans. I just put a simple one in the backyard as the other swatches are like dirtier and related to a mysterious Sim in this pack that appears to be 3 raccoons in a trench coat. So I just put the regular one here, but the other one's really cool too. And I think it'll be fun to build some stuff that's a little bit more rundown. And we do have some new items that look like they're like signs for something that's under construction. So maybe I'll do something like that sometime soon. I think it'd be really fun to build a house that's not fully built yet. I don't know if that made sense, but it sounds fun. Anyway, back to the build. I am now finally placing the new desk upstairs, and we're gonna grab the laptop for that. I also moved the lamp that I had upstairs downstairs, and I really like this one. It's really simple. It goes nicely with the new chairs, and I feel like it's just going to fit in nicely with a lot of stuff that we already have in the game. There's also this new planter. I scaled down 3 of them and kind of lined the fence here that is blocking the Sims from falling down the stairs. They can't actually do that, but I think it looks like it. So I like to make sure that I have the fences there, and I thought the plants looked nice. There is some new clutter over here as well as the new laptop. And then I decided I really wanted to have a standing shower up here, not just a tub. So I am rearranging everything to make that work. I think it worked out fine. And that is pretty much it for this build. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you give this video a big thumbs up. You can also subscribe to the channel if you'd like to see more, and click that bell to be notified when I upload. And a massive thank you to my YouTube members for all of your support. If you'd like to become a member yourself, you can click the join button below the video or the link in the description. Enjoy the screenshots, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye, everyone.